My name is Michael Glasby, and I've been with Premier Cru for about 15 years. I've been in the wine business for 20. I started in London working in retail before coming to California really to try and get into winemaking. I often said to people that I could make wine or try and make wine in France or Germany or America, but I decided my American was better than my French, so I came here and worked a couple of crushes and then settled back into retail, which is where I am now. Premier Cru is a company that's been around for 30 years, 31 years I think now. Started as a bricks and mortar wine store on Piedmont Avenue. And really, I think that the word is organic. I think we've grown organically over that time. We still have the same owners, John Fox and Hector Ortega, and they come in every day, 6 days a week, they're here. And we're still doing the same thing, but differently. And that's what we've done for 30 years. The international client base it's interesting. I mean, that's where a lot of the buzz is going on in the fine wine world. The market is global, the market is shrinking, the world is shrinking, and we're seeing some of that. I think we'd like to think we are competitive in a global market, and we're finding that we are. And it's very welcome to see clients from Asia, to see clients from Europe buying European wines in California. But ultimately, I think that we're not going to lose sight of our local base and our roots here in the East Bay. So the reserve room is really, I think it's more than a chance for us just to show off. I think it's a chance for us to put really rare and important bottles of wine actually in front of people so they can see them. They can see what ultimately at the top end, what it's all about, what a lot of winemakers all over the world are striving to achieve, these kind of paragons of the great things. And we have them, you can see them, and if you want them, you can buy them. But really it's a little bit of window dressing, but it's a really fun thing to have. Well, we're hoping to show the same range of interesting things. I mean, we've got, I don't know, I think there's what size is it? When they get that big, we just call them big bottles. There's an Ozone Imperial in there, I think, for $19,000. And there's, I think I just sold the 47 Mouton Magnum earlier this week. There's Bordeaux, there's Burgundy, there's some lovely Burgundies in there from the 40s and the 50s. Things that we are seeing increasingly rarely these days. But they're in there, and we'll continue to source them. And this is a really good opportunity for us to present them in a good light, and a dim light, I might say, which is really what the wines want. So, yeah, it's quite exciting to have that. Instead of just having a laundry list on paper or on the web in front of you, to actually have the bottles to view is kind of special. So I think my favorite style of wine, if I make it that specific, is white Burgundy. I always say this to people, that it was kind of counterintuitive to me when I started in the business. Everyone thinks of red wine really being the important wine. It's the wine you have with dinner. It's the wine you all talk about. But as I had more and more dinners where we'd start the dinner with some nice white Burgundy, I'd find that those were the wines, after all the dust had settled, all the wines were drunk, those are the wines I really wished I had more of. And that's really been my greatest passion, but it's not the only one.
I'm David Russell. I'm the wine buyer for the Premier Cru retail store, and I am a 32-year veteran of the wine industry. Premier Cru has actually been in existence for 31 years, but at this location for less than a year. Brand spanking new. Our clientele is increasingly diverse. For the last several years, over a decade, we've probably been pretty collector focused. That's changing. We're actually broadening our reach to sort of quote unquote normal wine drinkers who just want to buy a bottle of something interesting to take home and have with dinner tonight. People that are not necessarily looking for the $1,000 bottle collector wines, although we're very happy and still can service that market as well. We're very centrally located. Just a couple of blocks off Interstate 80, right in Berkeley. Very accessible from San Francisco, the North Bay, the East Bay, you name it. Oh boy, it's difficult to name a single favorite wine. I have a couple of areas of passion and special expertise. Those would be the wines of Burgundy and the wines of Italy, and with regard to the latter, specifically the wines of Piedmont in northwestern Italy. I think the appeal for Burgundy and for the wines of Piedmont for me are that they speak of their place. They're not just a wine as a product, wine is simply a beverage, but rather they have something to say about the place where they're grown. They're quite individual and have personalities of their own. They're quite unlike standard product, if you will. One nice thing about shopping here at Premier Cru is that you'll be served by people who are wine knowledgeable. Everyone here is a wine enthusiast, a wine hobbyist, if you will. We have an extremely broad range of wine, everything from $8 and $9 a bottle daily drinkers, all the way up to the $1,000 bottle collector. Broad geographic reach, not only the usual suspects such as the Napa Valley, Santa Barbara County, France or Italy, but also things like Central Europe, Austria, increasingly, even areas such as Slovenia, Greece, you name it.